Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to talk about the important addition of Daimon Hellstrom into Marvel Strike Force tomorrow as part of the Antimatter store. We've been patiently waiting, and remember, they extended the time it takes now for these characters to get added, but I've been saving my resources because we still have roughly a little less than 3 weeks remaining into the store to take advantage. Now, a few things that have not been covered by some other content creators and envoys that I do want to touch on, so that way you guys have the information readily available, but as well, hopefully you haven't used any of your power cores as well to unlock them, because there's going to be plenty of opportunities here, especially preparing for some of the key events that we are aware of. So again, as a reminder, Daimon, he is probably going to be the most important character for the Brimstone team. Even if you don't plan on investing or leveling up Brimstone, I still recommend Daimon because he's a really good plug and play character that's going to have value in a lot of different modes, and including the unlock of Blue Marvel as well, if you're planning to bring him up into that global section. But I do want to touch on this real quickly, guys. With the addition of the Antimatter store, remember that it's actually relatively cheap to purchase character shards, right? For 5 character shards, it only costs 12,500. Now, I know a lot of folks are focused on the Gear Tier 20 pieces, and rightfully so, because you want to work your way up for Age of X and obviously building up some of these Gear Tier 20 pieces. However, having said that, this still remains to be the best way to access these shards of characters, especially if you also have power cores. Now, I'm not referring to you going to the main supply store and opening these orbs in the way of power cores, for example, Hellcat's edition yesterday. But what I'm referring to actually is the fact that we can actually refresh this store as well for 50 power cores, and that's going to allow you to purchase the shards once again. So this actually still remains to be one of the best ways to get access to new characters. First and foremost, and especially if you saved up power cores and antimatter that you have not used for the duration of this event. And the reason I bring this up is for a couple reasons, guys. First and foremost, if you are planning to go the complete antimatter route, it only costs 250,000 in total, which means you have to purchase the character shards 20 times. That relatively takes close to 6 to 7 days, depending on if you miss anything along the way for the refreshes, or if you do plan to core, which in this case would cost 50, right? Each time that the store refreshes, you can do that twice. It only will take 2 to 3 days to get the character unlocked. So with Daimon coming in tomorrow, that means if you're doing it with the power cores, you'll spend close to 900 to 1,000 power cores if you're refreshing twice every single time in the store. And on top of that, like I said, if you start tomorrow when he gets added, it'll be like Saturday or Sunday, and you'll get the full unlock there. Now, the reason I point this out is because if you are planning to go that route where you're using both antimatter and power cores, that's going to cost you less than, like I said, less than 1,000 power cores, and that basically equates to, an orb, 1.5 on an orb here. So the value is definitely there. I want to point this out because of the fact that we know that there's 2 big events looming around the corner here, and obviously we know about the Curse of Eternity, right? Which is, you're going to be gaining progress in this event by opening vampire or zombie orbs, in addition to playing, but the difference maker and how you're going to outcompete other players if you're planning to partake in this leaderboard event is going to be the opening of these vampire and zombie orbs. Now, why is that important? Well, because this ties back to the fact that there is going to be a resource that we can take advantage of here, being power cores. So the more power cores you can save right now, that's going to convert and be able to get exchanged there for L4 training modules, which then can be used then to unlock either the vampire or zombie orbs, depending on which leaderboard you want to partake in. Either way, if you care about next week's event, I think it's coming up later this week, this week event that trickles into next week, well, then you should be actually saving all your power cores and resources as much as you possibly can. That's going to be a difference maker. The other thing I also want to point out is the fact that if you don't care right now and you want to just save resources, well, good news for you. Daimon Hellstrom, his free-to-play event is right around the corner. And typically, this is going to be in the way of the global milestone. So you can see it's situated for next week. There should be 100 shards, allowing everyone to unlock them completely free to play without any kind of shards whatsoever. So you just have the Battle and Alliance War, and essentially everyone's going to be globally getting this together. There's also antimatter, gold, and additional L4 training modules, which we can also use for that event as well. So just something to be mindful of. If you are planning to prepare like I am right now, there's a couple things you can do, which is first and foremost, wait for his addition into the antimatter store, because that's going to be provided here that we can purchase. I also want to point out too, you can purchase L4 training modules here, guys. So I don't have a crazy amount, but for 10,000, you can actually purchase another 40. So that's another avenue that you can use the remaining antimatter for the next 19 days here for the event that's coming up as well. Obviously, like I said, I'm planning to fully get them unlocked free to play just because of the fact that, this has been the best way, guys. That's how I got Superior Spider-Man. That's how I got Hobgoblin, Scorpion, Sebastian Shaw, Rachel. All these characters unlocked free to play with the antimatter. There's been more than enough, but then again, the challenge here is battling between the Gear 20 pieces that you need for progression into Age of X, especially if you're close. But at the end of the day, I think that's going to be kind of the decision process there. So I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. Just know that Daimon's free-to-play event is right around the corner, and we do have this Eternity event that's starting in just a few days here. That's going to be tied back to essentially more power core usage and how hard you want to go for that event, because it is the first ISO level 5 that we can actually participate in. So there you guys have it, all the information here in a nutshell. Hopefully this helps you guys make those decisions. Hopefully you haven't used any cores for Daimon yet. This is why the importance of waiting and just getting all the information together before you make that decision here. I hope this helps you guys out. Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.